Thank you, Dr. Govind, and very warm welcome and good morning to everybody present here. I'm Satish. I am part of the ICANN APSIG. I chair the Asia Pacific Region at Large organization of ICANN, and I'm also the ISOC Trivandrum chapter chair. And this you will learn shortly. The program of several ISOC chapters who are also ICANN ALSs. Now, you'll notice that I'm using the word or the acronym ALS, and you're going to encounter many such acronyms over the next 3 days. It's going to be a lot of confusing alphabet soup, but that is the world of internet governance, and it should not be strange to you by the time you finish these 3 days. inSIG is a community initiative of these ISOC chapters, but also ICANN ALSs. And it started in 2016 when accidentally a meeting of ICANN came to India. I'd say accidentally because that meeting was originally scheduled for Puerto Rico in the US, but they got attacked by the Zika virus, and the meeting was then moved to Hyderabad in India. And some of us, like Dr. Govind and I, at that time felt that this is a good opportunity for us to launch this School of Internet Governance, which we have been believing that was required for India. India is such a big country, and India's presence in the internet governance domain is actually not in proportion to its size. So we used the opportunity to talk to NICSI, Government of India, to support us. At that time, we were completely anonymous, 2 ISOC chapters coming forward and asking for funding support and official stamp of approval from Government of India. And fortunately, they agreed. And they also agreed this is a good opportunity. And inSIG 2016, the first edition, was born. It was conducted in the IIIT in Hyderabad, just before the ICANN meeting. And because it was just before the ICANN meeting, we also had many ICANN representatives, or the meeting, people who were attending the meeting, coming over as speakers. And some of them are still continuing, people like Glenn, who's wearing that cap backwards, who's the ISOC Board of Trustees member, also our organizer for all the 3 editions. And you will see lots more of him as we go forward. So why are we having this, this particular event? By the way, last year the inSIG moved from Hyderabad to Trivandrum, where there are many people from ISOC Trivandrum here. That is held in Technopark, which is an IT hub in Trivandrum. And the 3rd edition has finally come to Delhi. Now, Delhi thing is very crucial for us, because Delhi is not just a city, it's also the capital of India, and it's also the place where there's a lot of work going on, especially in the government, but also outside. And we wanted to ensure that Delhi hosts inSIG, so as to, the 3rd edition, so as to give it a real legitimacy. And I'm very thankful to ISOC Delhi, whose office bearers are here, apart from Dr. Govind. We have the secretary, and we have Amita, who's outside. They have been working very hard together with a bunch of volunteers to make this initiative and to realize this initiative actually. Why are we having this event? We are having this event because we have this broad vision of identifying, training, grooming internet governance professionals and leaders. Especially, we need the next generation to join this domain. There are lots of people with interest, but it is not easy to take part in these global processes. There are many barriers. There's a barrier of language, of time zones. Most important, the steep learning curve required. And here we will discuss some of these issues and how to overcome those that can be overcome. Time zone, for example, there's nothing we can do. But other things, perhaps. Again, on behalf of all the organizers, I'd like to welcome everybody here, the fellows. And fellows, we have 3 categories: the Indian fellows, the international fellows, and the local local fellows, especially for the Delhi chapters, to get their members and people interested to come and join this initiative. And for information, the next inSIG, the 4th edition, is scheduled for Kolkata, where we have Anand and Anupam, who will be joining us tomorrow, kind of leading the show. And following that, as of now, we have ISOC Mumbai, with Pratik sitting there, who will be taking the initiative for 2020. So after 2020, what happens, we're not sure. But some of you, I'm sure, will be planning to start your ISOC chapters in your cities, where there are no chapters now. The right person to guide you is someone sitting at the back row there, Subhashish. So please approach him if you have any plans of starting new ISOC chapters. He will guide you on the way, and then you can join this community, not just as participants, but also as organizers. At the outset, again, I'd like to thank our sponsors, without whom a lot of these things wouldn't have been possible. Nixie, Government of India, is of course the most prominent sponsor, together with Facebook, ISOC, Indian Society, ICANN, APSIG, and you have Sunny sitting there from APSIG. APSIG has been a source of strength for us in many ways, not just financially. And Sunny has been also attending all the 3 editions. Affilias and APSIG. APSIG is a name that you may not have heard of. You can look it up on the web, and you will know that that's an Asia-Pacific initiative for supporting schools of internet governance. We also have some giveaways. They're not really giveaways, we'll talk about it shortly. There's going to be some contests through this program, and we'll be giving these out as prizes, and these have come from PIR, the Public Interest Registry, and Glenn has lugged it all the way from Canada. It is sitting at the back, we will not tell you what it is right now, but these are going to be given to people who fulfill some criteria, and we will come to the criteria shortly. So thanks also to Glenn and PIR. We have a number of speakers who are joining us over these 3 days, and they will be starting to come now. I would like to, the full names you can see on the screen right now, but particularly Martin from ISOC board, ISOC board member is here. He was here yesterday for a Day Zero program. We had 2 of those, the GFC III event. I'm not going to explain what it is, you can find it. And the First India Youth IGF. And many people sitting here have participated in either of these programs. Both of them went very well. Martin and Olaf from Netherlands have been a part of this. And we would like to thank the supporters of the 2 Day Zero events as well. Also welcome all the speakers who will be joining us. The GFC event was in particular sponsored by Government of India, and the event was held in the ministry yesterday. Now we come to social media for this particular 3 days. Now we actively encourage, and even we ask you to kind of be active on Twitter and social media. Twitter is particularly important for us because that's where you can share your opinions and points of view of what you like, what you don't like, anything at all, any comments. So the Twitter tag is, hashtag is inSIG 2018, hash INSIG 2018. So when you tweet, please include the hashtag so that it appears in our kind of broad umbrella. WhatsApp, you're already, I think, members. If anybody is not a member of the WhatsApp group that Amrita started, please contact Amrita, who's outside. The website here that we'll switch to shortly is our source for the program-related activities. So the program will be dynamically updated, which is a consequence of the fact that people are traveling and some of them maybe not able to make it, others who said earlier no, may be able to come, etc. That being the case, please refer back to the program on the insig.in website for the latest updates. We have 2 contests. The first is the best question contest for every session. This is live throughout. And our Secretariat, who I'll introduce shortly, will be keeping track through their volunteers as people are asking questions and which is the best question. So this will be recorded, and at the end of the day, before we break for our today's role play, we'll be giving the best question award. The second is the best tweet and also the maximum number of tweets. So these are also going to be tracked. So all your tweets are going to be tracked by the Secretariat. So be sure to include the hashtag, otherwise it won't be counted. So the hashtag only identifies what it is. So end of the day, we'll be giving the best question award for all the sessions, starting with the next one. This one, no questions right now, but of course, you can ask questions outside. Secretariat is...
questions to you.
Yeah, of course, if you have questions, we can ask once the session is over. Amrita, who's handling the registration and many other things besides. I'm talking about the Secretariat right now. And Anand and Pratik are two people, gentlemen sitting here. Can you please wave? So if you have any questions, you can approach any of these folks. There's also Shahul, yeah, is that the person who's actually organizing the youth idea. So these are the Secretariat, and you can contact them for any purpose. One of the most important things about running or joining international events is that you have to be very conscious of the time. Now, Indians usually are not conscious of time. So we have an official timekeeper. Please rise. That is Ranjit Nair, who will be physically shoving speakers out of the stage if they don't get off. So
come in the front.
So this applies not only to speakers but also to people who intervene, asking questions. If the question is overly long, you will get negative points. So do not ask. Make your intervention very crisp and brief, so that we do have time for everybody. We have a group of alumni of previous inSIGs here who will be acting as your, mentors and guides. I'm not sure how many are there in the room because they are outside. There's one, so that's there. Anybody else? Okay, there's two. Two people are there, and you can contact them for any purpose. You'll be assigning special duties to them also. But besides, if you have anything to ask, we have session rapporteurs. This practice was not there last year. India School of Internet is a national SIG, School of Internet Governance. There are several other national SIGs in Asia Pacific. It started in Pakistan, 2015. 16 we started. We have now Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. We also have Asia Pacific, actually two regional schools of internet governance. One is APSIG, where Dilpreet was there this year. That is, APSIG is the Asia Pacific Internet Governance Academy, and that is organized by the government of Korea and ICANN, and a bunch of other supporters. And the other one is the APSIG, Asia Pacific School of Internet Governance. APSIG is, we are all, Govind and I and several others here are all part of the APSIG also. And APSIG is the regional SIG. Now, similarly, North America, they started a new school last year in Puerto Rico. So I was also a participant in that school, also speaker there. And there, they started the practice of having a rapporteur for every session. And then combining these rapporteur's reports into some kind of a newsletter or some kind of a document, which is actually quite useful for the reference later. So we have adopted that. Actually, Glenn had proposed it in the steering committee list, and it's been adopted. And I believe that Glenn has already assigned the rapporteurs. Can you please rise, the rapporteurs? Okay, here are the people who have very kindly volunteered to give their time. Thank you very much for your time. It's indeed a great gesture that you're doing. inSIG has its standards of acceptable behavior. Now, having been through many international meetings, we have had issues several times in the past. So whenever you bring people together in close proximity for 3 days or 4 days, sometimes more, some of these issues are likely to happen. It may range from very aggressive, passive-aggressive behavior in public spaces, or even going out to the extent of sexual harassment kind of behavior in private or public spaces. Now, this is all forbidden, and you have already been sent a link to the standards of acceptable behavior. If you're not read it, please read it now. We do not want to leave any room for doubt as far as this particular aspect is concerned. If you have any questions on that particular document, please contact us. We should be able to clarify anything that you may be interested in. Now, at this point, I see that many people are going to sleep. So I will ask two of our volunteers for a very interesting 5-minute session in the middle of this particular session. But before that, I must also tell you that inSIG meetings are all photographed and videographed. And there will be Twitter tweets with photographs in it. if anyone would not like themselves to be photographed, please tell us so that we will avoid such a thing. So historically, for the last 2 editions as well as this one, all these sessions are on YouTube. The sessions of the YouTube videos basically focus on the speaker. But the pictures that we take, that Glenn and others, or anybody may be taking with their mobile phones, we're just saying that that is a practice. If anybody has any objections, please let us know so that we can avoid taking those people, or we can see them somewhere else, etc. So after this, in the break, please let us know. Now I have Dilpreet and Sudha, who's going to wake you all up with a 5-minute ice-breaking session. Please come.